Alright, we're leveling Cyclone. You want to use Brandon first. And then at level 28, that's when you can use Cyclone. But how do you level with Cyclone? How do you go from 28 to 60? From using a shit staff to using Fulcrum. How do you do that? Well, you use this staff, the Storm Heart. Has a shitload of crit chance, a good amount of damage, double Ellie damage with a lot of fizz, and it's going to be the best staff you can find, or you're going to be able to obtain at level 28. It's pretty cheap as well. Does not cost anything, barely anything. And there we go. We only need one more level, and then we're good to go. Yeah, so you just want to level with brands up to 28, and then once you get to 28, you can start using the Storm Heart. And to start, you want to use critical damage support and increase critical strike support. And then the rest of the gems can be whatever. Doesn't really matter. The build, unfortunately, does rely on critical damage, so you're going to want to stack as much of that as possible. We're almost there. Almost to the point where we can start using Cyclone. Very close.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Less than half a level left. We might get to Act 3 before we can even use it. We get to Act 3 before we can use it. That'll be kind of annoying. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So for Fulcrum, the items you're going to want to use at the start, because you're not going to be able to get all the expensive shit until very later. And on console, you might not be able to get the expensive stuff at all. Period. No matter what point in the league you're at. So for the expensive stuff, if you just want to skip all that, you're going to want to use a Foulborn, Halcyon, Jade Amulet, a Kahutu Roa's Certainty, a Worm's Molt, and of course Winter Weave. And then for the helmet and the gloves and the ring slot you'll have left, you want to just focus on maxing out your resins. And if you can't get the right sockets and links on the spear because it's too expensive, then get them on a chest plate. But just try and get the best chest plate you can possibly get with the most defenses that you're going for. And the defenses you're going for are completely up to you. It could be evasion, it could be armor rating, it could be energy shield. It's completely up to you. All three work because you're going to be stacking strength, int, and dex for the most part. You're going to be having all three. You're playing witch, so you're inherently going to have hint because you're just going to be getting hint on the tree. You're going to have you're going to be getting strength because most of the nodes around a lot of them have strength. And then dex, for dex you can just get a pretty cheap jewel that will convert intelligence nodes to dex. And that'll make it very easy to meet the requirements for any of the gear you're trying to use later on down the line. But I don't have one that I recommend in terms of defenses. It's just completely up to you.
When I'm ready, I'm not.
When you start using Fulcrum, though, you're going to want to change a lot of your support gems out for other support gems that are just going to be better with that weapon. And there we go. We can use Cyclone now. And I have a cosmetic for it, so let me put that on. And with this weapon, you're going to be able to... Well, you can finish the entire campaign with just this weapon. And the supports I showed. Cyclone with increased critical strike support and increased critical damage support. You only need a 3-socket, 3-link. You do not need a 4-link like I have. 4-link's just going to help even more with elemental damage with attacks. But watch how much damage I start doing with this right off the bat, right at level 28. I am pretty over leveled for the area. That's because I wanted to use Cyclone as soon in the campaign as possible. But you don't have to over level. You can start using it later on down the line. But see, I'm just these uniques are getting shredded. I'll show my crit chance. Here we go. It is 40%. Not bad, not bad. right off the bat. As good as like 80% that you'll have later on down the line, but it's for the attack speed, it's good.
A pity. I think we could have been
We're not
friends.
using that.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you start leveling with Cyclone. Make sure you use this staff. Make sure you use increased critical damage support with increased critical strike support. When you're switching to Fulcrum, make sure you have uh, Kautoro's Certainty, or the fuck, however you call that, Worm's Molt, Winterweave, and Foulborn Halcyon before you switch to the Fulcrum. And make sure you have a 6-slot chess piece ready to go for Fulcrum if you don't have 6 links on the staff itself. And that's it.